Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back. Last day for me here at the Intelligentsia Cup, and it's down to just Jackson and I. Most of the team has already left. COVID was being spread around, and I'll be honest with you guys. After the crash and then the little bout we had with COVID amongst the team.
Teammate is in isolation. We are being very precautious. That's why we have a mask on.
The vibes were just not quite the same. But I'm lining up to race anyway. Like I said, it's just teammate Jackson and I. So between the two of us, really what we're trying to do is find a result. On a course like this, finding a result, you got to be near the front. Let's talk about the course and why that's the case. The course is very technical, especially I'd say corner number 3 was the most technical. Wide road going into a narrow road at a more than 90-degree corner. It's a big pinch point, and that corner specifically is an area where you can get separation off the front. If you take a really good line, you're rewarded for being at or near the front. And things did not start off good for me. I think it was lap 2. So we're talking like 5 minutes into this race, I got caught behind a crash. So here I am in the wheel pit getting let back into the race. I decided to turn my GoPro on, and you can see the breakaway getting away. This is lap number 3, you guys. You can see the importance of staying at or near the front, in this case off the front. It's so easy to get out of sight. It's so easy to get separation. And then if you find a group of like-minded riders, honestly, it is easier to be riding in the breakaway than it is in the field. Let me show you a few examples of why. Hard efforts, bad lines, and pretty much nowhere to go. That sums up pack riding on a technical course. So like right here, for example, I just took a terrible line through that corner because there were riders to my right, there's a curb to my left. And then when I get back out, all I want to do is get back up to speed and not lose position. So it's a massive effort. Oftentimes out of that corner, it's a 1,000+ watt effort. And it's not a 1,000+ watt effort and you're moving up. That's just to maintain. You have to hold another 500 watts after that a while longer in order to make passes. So yeah, I mean, I did 20 miles an hour through that corner. Now I'm doing 21, and I did almost 1,000 watts right there. The front riders are just holding a very constant power and constant speed. And you know what I've talked about on this channel a million times? Consistency is efficiency, right? You have to be smooth in order to be fast. And this is not smooth riding. And that's just the nature of racing on a technical course. Every once in a while, you do find little opportunities to pop out. I think I find one right here on the right. Never mind, I don't. There's a wall of slowing riders in front of me, nowhere to go. When you do find opportunities like that, you have to take them. And at this level of racing, they don't come too often. I think we'll find one a little bit later on in the race. But now, look, I'm like down to 20 miles an hour, 19 miles an hour coming into this corner, taking this really awkward outside line and doing another 800, 900 watt effort. This was basically the race for me because I missed the break. I wasn't towards the front, so it was at this moment in the race, really early on, quite frankly, where I was like, I got to get to the front or I got to stay at the back. But being mid-pack here forces me into riding like a terrible crit race. So the way I teach you guys not to race, because it's forcing me to take really bad corners, really bad lines, and doing really hard efforts in order just to maintain my position in the pack. And I end up finding a pretty decent opportunity here. I think it's this lap. Let's watch through. So coming through the start-finish, corner number 1 was a lot of fun. A lot of people didn't realize right here it opens up a little bit. And yeah, the barrier is kind of sketchy. You have to look out for the legs of the barrier on the ground there. But outside line here, making up some ground, but most importantly, preserving my speed. So yeah, I mean, I'm doing like 900 watts. It's quite a bit. But look, I just passed through corners 1 and 2. I just passed like 40 riders or something, and I got right to the front. So that was my my move. I did a few of these throughout the race to get to the front. And I want you to pay attention to my heart rate now, because my heart rate is in the low 160s. It's not incredibly high, but it's elevated because of that effort that I just did. But now look, the corner, I am able to preserve so much more of my speed. And yeah, I mean, it's still over 1,000 watts. Things are going to settle down here in a second, though, now that I'm up in this front group. If I remember correctly, let's just watch through it here. Yeah, it's fast, it's hard. I think there's an attack going off the front right now, but like I said, once things settle down, it's going to be so much easier on the front here. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be rewarded for that effort to move up, even though we're still 20 kilometers from the finish. And yeah, sure enough, you start to surround yourself with all the best riders in the race. You see, these are the Germans in front of me, the white band on their legs, yellow armbands. I have the Blazers behind me. You can see the race leader up there a few wheels in front of me. And look how much more chill this is. I mean, we're not going any slower, guys. We're still doing 27 miles an hour, but it feels totally different than being mid-pack, especially on a technical course like this. The effort is much more smooth. You're not battling these riders tooth and nail, shoulders and elbows through every single corner for like one position. We are preserving our speed through these corners. So instead of, doing 1,000 watts out of every single corner, We are taking better lines. We are preserving our momentum. And we are staying consistent with our power. Look, right now I'm doing 300 watts. The rest of this race, I was either at 0 or 1,000, it felt like. Now I'm doing a very consistent effort. Speed is remaining the same, right? Same speed as the people behind me, but just an easier ride, smoother ride. And as a result, now look at my heart rate. What did we say before? I was low 160s. Now I'm low 150s. Just like that, within like one lap. So it's so important to maintain position up here towards the front, especially in the closing laps of this race, if you want to end up with a good finish. But the problem is, and you probably guessed it, is everybody wants to be in the top 10. Everybody wants to be riding the front, taking choice lines through every corner. But there's 100 riders in this race, and only 10 people can be in that position. So either surround yourself with 5 strong teammates who are able to maintain your good position towards the front, which is not an option for me now that it's just down to Jackson and I, or start to take higher risk lines and start to throw caution to the wind. Like through this corner, I remember this specifically. I took this massive shot to the right, and I backed off immediately. Like I said in the last video, you guys, the last thing to heal after a pretty big crash like I had earlier this season is that mental part of it. And I had not come back yet. I did not have that killer instinct. So moments like this, I totally just back off and give up the wheel. And it doesn't take more than a few of these where I get a little spooked and give up a few wheels, where all of a sudden I realize, hey, I was top 10. Now I'm not even top 30. So you find yourself chasing it again. You know, I wasn't willing to take those super high risk lines to maintain my position. And now I'm going to have to trade in some watts, trade in some energy for position. And I mean, good thing for me, I'm in some of the best fitness I've ever been in. But also, this is just not really the way that you want to race. I mean, I'm looking for that same line as before. And this is pretty much the identical position on the course, making an identical move on the outside line, moving up, 20 riders or so, just trying to get back into that top 10, back into that smooth pocket of riders where, you know, you have guys like Clever surrounded by teammates. You have all the Germans lined up there who are all keeping it fast and keeping it safe for their teammates. And find it for a while, but same thing happens. You get shuffled back once again, and it's just frustrating because, yeah, I mean, I realize what's going on at this moment in the race, but I'm just not willing to take the risks. Like 2021, Jeff, I would have been up there battling, right? No problem, but still just a little too fresh from the crash. So here we go again, rinse and repeat, same part of the course. I'm going to try to move up again, exchange some energy. Still, like, the heart rate's not so bad, 164. This is 3 laps to go. Maybe we'll just take it in from here. I don't exactly remember how the end of this race went. I mean, I remember where I finished, but I can't remember exactly how it went. But you can see the front of the race is right there. My position isn't bad. I just have to continue chipping away at it in these last 3 laps, 2.5 laps now. So let's just walk you through it. Yeah, 1,000 watts out of that corner. I mean, that's just how that corner went this entire race pretty much, except when you're like right towards the front. It was a little bit easier, but that was just a tricky corner to maintain, to be honest. But you're probably seeing a lot of similar faces and similar bikes up here towards the front as you have in previous Intelligentsia videos, because these are the hitters. These are the guys who are always in the top 10 in the sprint. So we've been lapped at this point, by the way. I should have made that clear earlier. We have been lapped. The race is over for first. But there are a few more spots up for grabs. I think 7th place and down. So there's still some money on the line. And I still want to, pop off a decent sprint. I am aware that first is not up for grabs anymore. So, yeah. Oh, geez. So right there. Okay, that's another good example. Can we watch that one again? Okay, so small gap to the rider in front of me. I'm going to fill it in, right? Wrong. Rider on the left is like mine, and he just crowds me on the left, takes the spot. Simultaneously, rider on my right is moving to his left in order to avoid the barriers. So it put me in this really uncomfortable situation. And look, guys, I could make excuses all day about what happened. Bottom line is, though, I'll be completely blunt with you guys. I lacked the confidence this year to be assertive and to be a factor at the end of these crits. Plain and simple. Like, I think my fitness was there. Fitness was okay. But there requires a certain amount of confidence and assertiveness, especially in the closing laps of these crits, to find success. And I just didn't have it. I did a few early races this season, thought I was ready for racing at this level, but it just wasn't the case. And now looking back at this, it's frustrating. Even at this moment, like 165 beats per minute, I really should have just been going after a bit harder on these straightaways. Even if I'm not like, fighting like crazy and taking high risk through these corners, I still should be going harder on these straightaways, as I say that I did it's like 1,100 watts out of that corner or something crazy. But oftentimes it's just hard. Like, it's easy to look back and be disappointed in your effort. But, like where where are the moments truly to make up ground? Because moments like this, it's a narrow road and there's riders left to right. So it's just really hard to find those moments to move up, especially towards the end of a race. I mean, everyone's trying to do that. This is a high level of racing. We're going to be passing through 1 lap to go here. And I really just need to be like out in the wind sprinting right now if I want a shot at one of those final remaining top 10 places that are still on the line. But look how many riders are still in front of me. I mean, I'm just so out of it. I'm sorry, guys. This is like embarrassing. But I promised I'd post all the Intelligentsia videos. This is just hard to watch because this is not the way I normally race. Being 30th wheel on the last lap, like this is just rough. I'm doing 1,000 watts here sustained on the left, but like it's just too little too late. Like this is why you don't wait until the last lap. I mean, I just did basically my sprint effort, but I moved up 3 wheels because you saw the lead out guy pulling off, and his job was to make it fast to prevent people from me, like, you know, coming up from 30th place and all of a sudden taking the win. Take a decent line through that corner on the last lap, like an idiot. And yeah, back over 1,200, almost 1,300 watts. But like, where am I going, you know? We have a lead out duty on the front. People are doing this exact same pace on the front. So at this point, just kind of rolling in, guys. The result's not going to be great, but it's going to be safe. I managed to make it through Intelligentsia without crashing, which is more than a lot of people can say. It was a particularly crazy year this year. And that's it. If you guys enjoyed the series, I enjoyed the hell out of producing these videos. And special thanks to EJ. Came out with me. He helps edit these videos. He helps shoot these videos. Give the video a thumbs up for EJ because he's the man. And leave a comment down below if you guys want to see more of this type of production where we kind of see a well-rounded experience from the race, not just all GoPro footage. I think that was a 24th position or something like that I don't even remember or care about. But hey, the series is over. Vibes came back after the race.
Yeah!
Yeah!
I'll be back, Chicago. I'll be back to exact my revenge, hopefully for the whole series next year. As always, thanks for hanging in there, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.